Hey guys, excuse me, I got a really quick video. I'm actually going to be talking specifically now about Etsy and how to sell baked goods or food products on Etsy and make a lot of money doing it. I've been on Etsy since 2011. We are now in our 6th year on there. I've actually shipped products to 15 countries around the world just on Etsy alone. And we've actually had our products viewed by nearly 150 countries on Etsy with at least one view count or more. So I want to show you really quick. This is kind of cool. I just want to take a moment. This is we're in our office. I'm in my facility here. My desk is quite messy. Well, not really messy, but I just have a lot of work to do. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys. This is the map. Let me move something out of the way. This is the map. And all of these places here that have X's, these are places that we have shipped to. We've also shipped to Iceland. We've gone all the way down to South America as well. We have shipped to Dubai. I've also shipped to Germany, Ireland, Spain, and Norway. Everywhere that you see an X, those are places that we've actually shipped to. Australia, Japan, and Taiwan. So this is a big map that I actually keep in my office to kind of mark every day as to where we ship to and then what we've actually shipped to them. So here's the thing. A lot of people go on Etsy, they open up a shop, they open a store, and they just post products, put up some keywords, and then they don't sell anything. And a lot of people get frustrated, then they shut their store down and they don't give it time. I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 steps that I do every day that actually will ensure me a sale or more. Traditionally, we do multiple sales every day on Etsy now. But when I first started, like I said, I've been on Etsy 6 years. When I first started, it was a challenge to get people to find my product. But here's 5 things I do every day. Now, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is normally around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll get up and I'll spend about a half hour to an hour doing social media. Very important. And when I say social media, a lot of people are like, well, I know what social media is. That's not exactly what I mean. Just because you know what social media means doesn't necessarily you know how to utilize that for your business. I do not do a lot of paid advertising actually I don't do any paid advertising on any social media. I do strictly postings, and our following now accumulatively with all of the social media presence that we have between Twitter, Instagram, our blogger account, Pinterest, Facebook is probably around 25,000, about 25,000, 20 to 25,000 followers in between all of those. Now that may not sound like a heck of a lot, but every single one of those followers are people that I personally have generated, and I've got to come over to us on our social media pages and followed us. So I've had no SEO experience as far as personal training and as far as learning SEO. I've had to teach myself everything that I've known. So now I understand it quite considerably, much better than I did 6 years ago. So here's the tip. Social media. Okay, so when you post a product onto Etsy, if you look to the right-hand side of every single listing, you have social media icons. So they are there for a reason. I would definitely, if you're not on a social media such as Twitter, Pinterest, create an account, utilize the name of your store from your Etsy shop, whatever it is. You can sell jewelry, pictures, it doesn't matter. Even collectibles, that's fine. But create a Pinterest account, create a Facebook account, create an account on all of them. Now, once you've created a listing and you've maximized your tags, make sure you fill in every tag that you can. And those tags have to be as specific and as close to the product that you're offering as possible. So let's say that you're selling vintage collectibles. Whatever that niche is specifically within those collectibles, make sure that every tag for that listing that you're creating is something that your customer would type into the search engine to try to find your product. So if you're selling baseball cards from the 1980s, you wouldn't want to put football cards, you wouldn't want to put paintings, pop art, necklaces, gold. Obviously, those have nothing to do with what you're selling. So be as close and specific as you can to your product. For me, a lot of the stuff, the number one keyword that we have that's most active is actually the word truffle. Because we sell a line of cake ball truffles. and they're one of our best sellers. So what I do with a listing such as cake balls, I would put cake balls, gourmet cake balls, truffles, chocolate truffles, vanilla truffles, and so on, because you want to be as close as possible. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your listing is optimized. Make sure that you're utilizing specific keywords, okay? Keywords, okay? And then in your description, make sure, again, that you're going to reiterate. You're going to use some of those keywords. Don't do it in a spamming way. Don't repeat them over and over, but create a description about your product, but try to pull together and tie together those keywords that you just listed, okay? Super important for the SEO, for the search engine within Etsy itself, okay? The way that it categorizes and catalogs things, as well as the effect that it's going to have on Google, okay? So your description needs to be filled with as many keywords as you can get, okay? Third, make sure that you are sending every listing to social media. And you can do it over and over and over and repeatedly. This has to be something that you need to be consistent on. I do it every single day. I mean, this is my business and this is my livelihood. So when I spend time doing social media, there's a reason for it, and I do it repeatedly, okay? You can actually send products. You can send a listing to Twitter, for instance, the same one over and over by just tweaking it a little bit with your what they allow you to do with the characters. You can actually use a hashtag on some of your descriptive words, and you can place that hashtag in different spots and literally send to Twitter repeatedly throughout the same day the same listing of products, because you want to keep having people have visibility. You want them to see the product. Same thing with Facebook. Once you've developed a Facebook page, send it to Facebook every single. There's products that I send to Facebook every week and every month, over and over and over, because as it goes through and you get more friends and more followers, it's going to stay within that feed of Facebook so people can see that, okay? So then send it to your social media. Okay? Send your product to social media. Okay? You've got to be active. It has to be social. You've got to interact with that every single day. Here's a great tip. If you go to Facebook, and let's say that you are selling, I'm going to just use our cookies as an example. If you're a baker, or if you're a candy maker, and you're selling cookies, go to Facebook, find a specific social media group within Facebook. Find a group that loves cookies, or someone who's, if it's a foodie or food blogger group, become a member of that. Be a part of that group. Start interacting with everybody within that group that you can, and then you could post in, hey, by the way, you know what? You got to check these cookies out. They're amazing. These are gourmet. They're handmade. They're made fresh to order. Whatever it is that you're selling, put that in to those interactions that you've got with members of those groups, okay? So be active with groups. Okay, and there's also groups within every social media that's out there. Facebook is the only one that's got them. You can check out different followers on Twitter, and you can different pages you can create within Pinterest, which creates these like micro followings, these little micro groups within Pinterest. And again, you'll get the attention of people who are looking at or like the stuff that you're making. And again, you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be cookies, obviously. It could be anything. So be active in the groups, and make sure that you do your social media consistently every single day. When you're starting out, the reason why I tell you I don't actually pay to have an organization or a social media marketing group do my social media is that I just don't fit that in my budget. If it costs me 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day, and 99% of the time it's early in the morning, I get it out of the way, then I start the rest of my day. You don't need to pay thousands or hundreds of dollars a month to have a group of people do it for you. Just get up. If you're really, really determined and you're really focused and you want to make this work, if you're selling on Etsy, even if you're selling on Amazon, if you're selling on eBay, the same thing. They all have social media buttons within every listing. Utilize those social media buttons, okay? And keep posting it and posting and posting it. You find a group, let's say you find a group that's in Facebook and you've got an Amazon store. Amazon also has those social media links. Click them, click them, click them. Keep adding them on and be active with it, okay? So by doing these things here, being part of social media, making sure you're utilizing keywords, make sure your description is as SEO maximized as possible, be very descriptive with what you're doing, this will help increase your sales on Etsy. I personally don't interact with Etsy groups, they're called. I don't see the return on investment, the return on my time actually, with the groups within Etsy itself. Most of the sales that we get, if not all of them, are actually from customers that are outside of Etsy. They're not necessarily sellers. So I personally don't utilize them, and we do very well on Etsy. Again, I don't really get into too many numbers. I don't like to talk about how much I've made, but we do very, very well. We make a very good living doing this. So this is something that I've kind of learned over the past 6 years, and this works for me. And we've had nearly 4,000 sales so far on Etsy. And a lot of those sales are actually large orders for weddings and events. We've catered nearly 600 events on Etsy that are specifically either corporate events for businesses or weddings. And these are people who find us. We don't go out and pay advertising to try to get them to find us. They just come to us. So try this on your Etsy store. Give it a shot. But remember that it takes time. It takes time to sell. Every big seller or big store that's on Etsy has been there for years. It doesn't happen in 5 or 6 months. There's no such thing. I've never found a shop out of researching what I found online to ever do that in a few months. It takes time. But once you build it up and you're into your first year, year and a half, 2 years, you're going to be doing some considerable business, and definitely can keep doing this every day. You've got to be active with it, and you've got to maximize the features that they have. You don't need to pay anybody to do this stuff for you, so don't do that. I hope you like my video, and I do hope that helps you. If it does, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't, give me a thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I do offer a lot of videos that I will be loading up throughout each week, and I do hope that the nearly 10 years of experience that I have will help you. So I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.